starts now.
Mandatory evacuations are underway across parts of North Carolina. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Victoria Bailey. Entire communities are being flooded by rain from Tropical Storm Florence. The storm is blamed for 12 deaths, and Courtney Zabowski has the latest from Wilmington.
Florence is showing no mercy to North Carolina. The slow-moving storm has virtually stalled, dumping relentless rain after making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane.
It's pretty deep. It's scary. There's cars already going under. There's people freaking out.
Water is rising fast in the northeast part of the state, leaving entire communities flooded in Jacksonville. People trapped in their submerged homes have been rescued by boat and helicopter. Anthony Loved watched as the water crept up to his front door. He says he wasn't taking any chances.
You see the water coming in, it's like, okay, are we going to stay here and get wet, or are we going to go ahead and leave?
Officials here in Wilmington are asking evacuees not to return home just yet to give crews enough time to remove downed trees and restore power. This grocery store opened early this morning, just in time. People here have been running out of supplies.
Well, we were prepared. We had a lot of supplies and stuff, but you can only buy so much ahead of time, and then you know that there's certain things that you're going to run out of.
Gasoline is also in short supply. Drivers waited nearly an hour to fill up at this gas station. In Cumberland County, authorities are going door to door, telling residents to leave after issuing a mandatory evacuation. Officials say the Cape Fear River may crest above 62 feet.
We're talking about flooding that has not been seen to this degree, potentially, since 1945.
Another 1.5 feet of rain may fall before the weekend is over. Courtney Zabowski, CBS News, Wilmington, North Carolina.
Nearly 1 million homes and businesses are without power. Well, a U.S. Border Patrol agent is the suspect in the killings of 4 people and kidnapping of 1 woman. Juan David Ortiz was taken into custody Friday night and formally charged earlier today with 5 felonies. Now, the 35-year-old is 10-year veteran supervisor with the U.S. Border Patrol. Over the past 2 weeks, the bodies of 3 women and 1 man have been found, and the district attorney says all of them are victims. All of the victims were prostitutes. Now, authorities are calling Ortiz a serial killer who hunted for his victims. The break in the case came on Friday after a woman said she had been kidnapped and escaped. Her description led troopers to Ortiz at a gas station in Laredo, Texas. He was caught at a nearby motel, and investigators say there could be other victims. Well, you can expect a message from President Trump soon. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is testing a new warning system. The goal is to alert Americans to emergencies like severe weather and missing children. Now, most cell phone users will receive the alert Thursday afternoon. The message will be titled Presidential Alert, but will indicate it is only a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. Now, major cell phone carriers include AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint will all be participating. FEMA will also test the emergency alert system on radios and television stations as well. It's time now for a first look at our forecast with meteorologist Jacob Dickey. Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Victoria, just want to remind you also, if there's ever severe weather in our area, you can count on us at WCBI to send you an alert with the WCBI mobile app. Grab your phone real quick and download that. You also get the forecast on there, so if you have that, you've noticed that tonight was going to be a great night. Also, shorter days are here. Tonight, the sunset at 7 p.m. The next time we see the sunset at or after 7 p.m., March 13th, 2019, and the countdown to fall is underway. 7 days left here. Now, we do have some temperatures that are warm now. We are ending summer on fire, but there is hopefully some cooler weather. We're going to talk about how long this warmth will last, when we might see cooler weather, and we'll take a look at tropics coming up here in just a bit.
Thanks a lot, Jacob. This year's Mantachie Festival opened with the celebration of something new. This morning, town officials cut the ribbon on the town's new park pavilion. Now, the pavilion was built using funds from the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi Healthy Hometown Award Grant. The $25,000 grant was awarded to the town last year, and Mantachie Mayor Matt Fennell says the pavilion is the first in a series of upgrades the park will receive thanks to the grant.
We have a park plan, a long-term, a long-range plan for the park of improvements. This new pavilion sets the tone for the direction that we want to see our park go. It's going to be the centerpiece of the park going forward.
Plan, and this is the
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi Healthy Hometown Award Grant is presented annually to towns and cities that pass a set of rigorous health-related requirements. Well, deep-fried Oreos are just one of the many unique items on the menu at the annual Mantachie Festival. And if that's not your thing, organizers say don't worry, there's something for everyone and of all ages. Now, more than 40 vendors set up shop for the two-day festival. There was food, clothes, arts and crafts, and a health fair, kids booths. They all lined the park. The festival is now underway and continues tomorrow at Mantachie's Town Park. Organizers say it's a simple Southern-style festival designed to highlight the town of Mantachie.
I mean, we're celebrating 32 years, and it's an opportunity for us to come together as a community and invite people to our community to see what we have to offer.
We have music, we have vendors, health fair, just a pet show. Well, tomorrow, that's the first day. Second day, we have church service in the evening, singing, and we're going to end the weekend with a fireworks show. So it's just a big weekend for the town.
The mayor says he estimates about 2,000 people will pass through the festival over the weekend. Well, Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves says more money should be entering the classrooms, starting with the teachers. Reeves has already taken steps in increasing teachers' pay from the roughly $34,000 to $35,000 a year. In 2014, the Magnolia State did a pay raise across the board and implemented an opportunity program where an investment was made of $125 million for higher teacher pay. Now, last week, the Medicaid division reported the unemployment numbers are down, meaning Medicaid's request for the money is going to be about $50 million less than they originally suggested. And Reeves says there's no reason for that money to just sit there.
Let's take that $50 million in savings in another area of government and let's invest it back in the classroom. And the best way to have a quality education for everyone is to have a quality teacher in every classroom. Best way to have a quality teacher in every classroom is continue to compensate them in such a way that we value and reward them for success.
Legislative budget hearings start Monday, the 17th. September is National Recovery Month, and a group in Houston is taking action to help prevent addiction, and they're starting with the younger generations. Our Riley Livingston has the story.
Saturday is Addiction Awareness Day in Houston, a day for the Community Addiction Awareness Organization to unite with the community to educate on addiction.
Everyone is in a fast-paced life, and we believe that folks just don't realize how bad the drug problem is in their community. They have like what I call a blind eye, and with us getting out here and speaking about it, if nobody never talks about it, nobody never knows about it. So, I mean, it's here just like it is in any other community. A drug problem is bad everywhere. And we just putting awareness out there, showing the signs.
They started the day by teaching kids the dangers of addiction.
People don't think about where it starts. You know, they think, okay, they see this addict on the street who's a grown man or a grown woman, and they're thinking, how did they get that way? But what you don't realize, what if that child grew up in a home full of drugs? What if that child was approached at school by an older kid and said, hey, you want to try this? That could have been where it was started. So if we can prevent that or give them some kind of support to where they can come to somebody and talk about it.
It is important for the organization to show people who are facing addiction that they understand and are there to help in any way they can.
Love the addict hates addiction. And what we mean by that is so many people look at an addict, like I said, and they judge them. But, you know, you're to love that addict. You're to show them that kindness. Now, by far do I encourage people to enable an addict, but you are to show them kindness.
They wrapped up the day by talking to adults about how to spot addiction and how they can help their loved ones.
Talk to the family of the addict, because that's a problem too, because they cannot interact with each other because they living in different worlds. They might be living in the same house, but they're in different worlds.
Reporting in Houston, Riley Livingston, WCBI News.
Now, if you or someone you know is suffering from addiction, you can contact the Community Addiction Awareness through their Facebook page. Well, a local community comes together to show a longtime resident love. We have that story and more when we return. Welcome back, everyone. A Tupelo woman who underwent a double lung transplant is grateful for all of the support she has received from her community. WCBI's Chad Groening has the story.
Janique's Beanlong came back home to Tupelo this weekend from her ongoing rehabilitation process at the University of Alabama Birmingham Medical Center. She had her double lung transplant on July 4th. A special celebration and fundraising event was held for her at the Temple of Compassion and Deliverance Church. Her sister, Trinessa Bean Pearson, says Long has been through a lot.
She was diagnosed with a lung disease at the age of 13 called sarcoidosis, and so she was pretty much good from 13 to 38. Then another lung disease came about called polymytosis scleroderma, and so she had to have a double lungs transplant, and that's basically it.
It's been a strain on, you know, the family and I, but we all being Christian people, you know, we put our trust in God, and so far He blessed us, you know, to go through this. But He's given us strength, you know, to move on through it. She had a struggle, but thank God she's doing a lot better now.
And Long says it was a tough road for her.
And I suffered from shortness of breath, wheezing, coughing. I went from being able to do normal daily activity to still holding down a job, but being limited in what I could do. In 2017, I was told the only way to survive was a double lung transplant.
Long says on May 30th she was listed on the transplant list at UAB Hospital, and they informed her on July 2nd that lungs were available, and she had the surgery on Independence Day.
The support here in Tupelo, my hometown, my job, my family, my church family, it has been very, very overwhelming, to say the least. I have 2 small kids and 1 grown son, and I have not had to do anything as far as school clothes, school supplies. My family has stepped in. They have made sure that I have not gone without, not one day.
And family and friends are confident that Long will be home permanently soon. Chad Groening, WCBI News, Tupelo.
A truly touching story. Long hopes to be done with her treatment at UAB by next month.
It's time for our Saturday night check-in on the 155th Armored Brigade over in Kuwait. Staying very warm there this time of year. Temperatures in the 1 teens through the week with lots of sunshine, no rain for them. We stay dry here as we end our last week of summer. Does not look like the weather will change for us. I've got those details for you coming up after the break.
Your first alert forecast with meteorologist Jacob Dickey.
Not too bad out the door here in the region. Clear sky. We've got some cooler temperatures finally working their way in after the heat of the day. Folks out for the game there in Starkville, really seeing the junction with lots of folks heading home from the game or really just enjoying the cooler air after a bit of a game that's felt like fire in that sun out today. 80 right now in Columbus, Starkville 81 still. It is 79 in Calhoun City. These temperatures will continue to drop, but it is still a bit muggy out there. We've got some dew point values in the low 70s and upper 60s in a few spots there. Some drier air trying to mix in from the north end to the west with that breeze today, and that helped things out. And that drier air aloft also helped to keep us dry across Mississippi and Alabama. However, to the east, Florence keeping things very wet under the Carolina coast. As you see these storms here, these yellows and reds, that's very heavy rainfall coming into the Carolinas. Already, spots have seen 20 to 30 inches of rain, and more is on the way overnight as Florence slowly drifts at walking speed off to the west and to the north under 2 miles an hour. For us locally tonight, no problems. We'll get down into the low 70s and upper 60s, 68 in Eupora, Starkville 70, 73 in Amory, under a mostly clear sky. Get a good view of the moon out there. For Sunday, then, things warm up quickly. After church, for lunch, look at 90 at noon. 93 will be our afternoon high at 4 p.m. with those northwest winds continuing at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Futurecast keeps us dry overnight as well as through the day on Sunday. If we are able to squeak out a shower, it will be up here towards, say, Florence, Alabama, up north in Tishomingo County and Alcorn County. But I really think we've got a very slim chance of that. I'm expecting it to be mostly sunny to partly cloudy through the day. 92 in Tupelo, 91 in Houston, Calhoun City, and Bruce at 90. We'll see the low 90s for us in the Golden Triangle. 95 Macon, 92 Louisville, 90 in Winona, and much of the same for West Alabama. Lots of sun, low 90s for us. Vernon, 91 will be our Sunday afternoon high. Now, as Florence finally makes its way off to the north and to the east, still getting some drier air in here, that's going to keep the chance for those showers away, but it still keeps the heat in place. We're only counting down until fall. 7 days left for us here, but unfortunately, the first week of fall looking much like this week. Still expecting above average temperatures here across much of the southeast. Looks like we'll boil our way into the fall season. We also have to keep our eyes in the tropics over the next 5 days. Just a 20% chance of seeing some development. This is actually the remnants of Isaac, and so very low odds as it moves off to the west and to the north into the Gulf that it develops into anything of substance. Tonight, 71, great for football weather if you're outside, out and about, mostly clear. As we look at the 7-day forecast, about the only taste of fall we'll get is putting some leaves on Saturday. Still low to mid-90s there as we go through the week with a chance for a few isolated storms. Very much a summer-like pattern. Victoria?
The Rebels are hosting the #1 ranked Crimson Tide for Week 3. See the highlights coming up next in sports.
Sheesh. Testing 1, 2, 3 sports, blah, 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 blah.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
The most anticipated matchup of the week finished up just a few moments ago. And what started out with plenty of hype ended up being kind of a disappointment. Ole Miss and Matt Luke taking on the #1 Alabama Crimson Tide and Nick Saban today. And we couldn't have asked for a better start for the good old Rebels today. But first play of the game, Jordan Ta'amu, he's going to send one over to DK Metcalf. And he's going to take that 75 yards to the house. Rebels would take a 7-0 lead today before you could even blink your eyes closed. But Alabama responding to that right away. And poor Tony's going to get a little sad just now, but Damian Harris, he's going to hang on to the handoff, and that man is gone. He put the Jets on to leave everyone in his path. 43 yards into the house. It's going to even the game up right there. But that Alabama offense, they weren't slowing down anytime soon. Tua Tagovailoa, he's going to send one to Jerry Jeudy for 79 yards. And that man also is going to put the Jets on, take it all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. They would take a 14-7 lead. 3 touchdowns in 5 minutes between both these teams. And Bama not letting up. Jordan Ta'amu on the keeper. He gets the first down but gets crushed. And the ball's going to come out. It would end up being recovered by Alabama. The Tide make them pay for that turnover. Najee Harris, 10 yards out, leaps into the end zone. It's going to be 21-7. Alabama in the lead. Ole Miss not able to get out of this bad rhythm. Ta'amu with the throw across the middle. It's going to get picked off by Deontay Thompson. And the man's going to work his way into Rebel territory. Alabama, just everything clicking on all cylinders for them today. Tua, he's going to convert again, a dart to the left side of the end zone to Irv Smith. A great catch for the touchdown, 28-7 after the first quarter. Alabama would continue piling this on today. 49 first half points along with 418 yards of offense, all while holding Ole Miss to 7, just 1 touchdown. And the Rebels wouldn't be able to work its way back during the second half. Bama would score 13 more and end up dominating Ole Miss with a final of 62-7. Mississippi State having themselves a day today at Davis-Wade Stadium. We're going to get into those highlights coming your way next in sports. Stick with us. The number 16 ranked Mississippi State returned home to Davis-Wade Stadium tonight, looking to go 3-0 against an unranked Louisiana Lafayette team. Tonight was also the first time Nick Fitzgerald would show up since his injury and suspension to play on his home field, and it seems that he was able to shake off any existing rust from week 2. MSU also officially retiring Alex Wilcox's jersey tonight. And Cody Schexnader honoring Wilcox with the color of his cleats. But to the game, Mississippi State coming in 2-0 to take on the Ragin' Cajuns. Early on, Nick Fitzgerald on the QB keeper goes in 1 yard for the TD. Bulldogs leading 7-3. After a 4th down stop, Fitzgerald back to pass. He's going to find Dedrick Thomas way down. A big gain for the Bulldogs, 44 yards into Louisiana Lafayette territory. Later on, we're going to see more from Fitzgerald today, as we'll see again right here. He's going to go on the keeper. goes 10 yards in for another score. It's going to extend the lead for the Bulldogs 14-3 in that second quarter. Fitzgerald finds Keith Mixon right here across the middle for 23 yards inside the 10-yard line. We're seeing Fitz do a lot better than what we saw and a lot more stable than what we saw last week, but the A-Train Harris Williams gets the ball, goes untouched for the 3-yard score. Easy money for him. And after a 4th down stop here, Fitzgerald with the snap, takes off, gets a big gain for 36 yards. He's not going to stop, but eventually he would stop. He'd get knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line. But to cap it off, guess who yet again? Yes, it's Nick Fitzgerald, this time 2 yards out for the score, his 3rd in the first half. Bulldogs stretch the lead 28-3. And then more in the first half. Fitzgerald back to pass, throws way downfield. Look at that beauty. Finds Stephen Guidry, 39 yards for the score. MSU led 35-5 at halftime. That momentum wouldn't change in the second half. The Bulldogs hold on, would crush the Raging Cajuns 56-10. That's going to be it for sports. We'll have more for you coming up after the break. Stick with us.
Very much summer weather for the next week, but we are counting down till fall in 7 days. Unfortunately, fall weather doesn't look like it's coming anywhere soon. Next week, or this week, next week, both looking very hot. We'll have to keep our fingers crossed to get some cooler temperatures.
That sounds good. Thanks, Jacob, and thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time.